Okay, so here is the deal with TRKA. We are getting both bullish signals and bearish signals. Let's go over them today so that we can have an edge for tomorrow's session. What is up, you guys? Thank you so much for stopping by. Once again, this is ARCa coming at you with a TRKA technicals and raw price action thread of analysis on this happy Thursday. Before we get started, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share the video with a friend so that you and them could consider joining our trading community in Discord called ARCa Bulls. With that said, let's go ahead and dive right into the charts. Okay, you guys, so we're looking at TRKA here on the 4-hour chart, and what we're looking at here is an ascending channel, just like we stated yesterday, right? So the reason why I'm telling you that we have both bullish and bearish signals are for a few reasons, okay? Please notice on volatility versus momentum that we are pretty much primed for an upside move coming down from very critical oversold percentile here with an upside pivot. Okay, so that is usually indicative of a very strong move coming up, and also the fact that we're contracting from critical volatility, which I consider to be anything within the 90 percentile of volatility. This is volatility here that you're looking at, represented by this indicator BBWP. All right, so and as we move up to the time frames, you'll notice that we are at critical volatility and still at critical oversold, suggesting an upside coming in, right? So 4-hour, here's the 6-hour with that upside pivot and critical volatility, right? Look at the 8-hour and look at the 12-hour, and I believe that is where it maxes out, right? So right at about the 12-hour. So this is essentially telling us that we have a very strong move coming to the upside within the next day or so. Now, what I wanted to talk to you guys about is the bearish scenario here, okay? Because this essentially invalidated a bear flag yesterday, right? So yesterday's bounce to the upside was a massive bounce, and that essentially gives away the bear flag. But in doing that invalidation, we started building another formation. Now, this formation can be traded both upside and downside, okay? Now, usually this could be considered a continuation pattern, but it also could be a bullish pattern or reversal pattern itself. Okay, so the way you trade a symmetrical triangle is actually by taking a trend line from the very top of the triangle to the lowest point of the triangle, and you apply it to the supposed area of breakout. Okay, so we are very close to that area of breakout now. Okay, so if we were to break out to the upside, we can just go ahead and take that trend line and apply it to the top of the breakout zone, right? And this is essentially telling us and taking us to 83.29, which is a very similar target that we were talking about for several days. And that 83.29 just happens to be right by the 2.272, which is under the golden mean 2.618. Okay, so now here is the bearish scenario. Okay, if we were to apply that trend line to the downside, this is where kind of the headaches come in, right? So you are looking at a bottom side of about 16 cents, 16.15, right? Which is very confluent with a lot of targets right over here. Okay, so if we were to put a bearish support range, then we can go ahead and do this. Okay, so right at the bottom of this, the price objective of the triangle, right to the bottom side of this candle structure right here. Okay, so this is our next inflection point. I mean, overall, right? Overall. So it doesn't always have to realize this absolute bottom target. There are several ways to look at this, but I mean, generally, this could be an area that we're looking for as a bearish target. Okay, now I want you guys to know a couple things. Okay, still very bullish. The fact that right now, remember, guys, it's about 2:18 p.m. Pacific, so we are still above and inside of the ascending channel. Okay, so that's still a good signal. This is why I'm saying that we're getting both bearish and bullish signals all at once. Okay, so in this case, we have to make sure to protect our longs. Okay, so in this case, you know, say for example, you're long about 3,000 shares, right? So and you're noticing that you have a continuation pattern or a bullish pattern, right? So this pattern can be traded both ways, opposed to other patterns, okay? So this one in particular has both bearish and bullish outlook, okay? So particular to a symmetrical, okay? So usually some people in strategy, right? Usually some people would diminish their loss or slow their losses down by removing a certain percentage of risk from the table, right? So in this case, if you are 3,000, some people would do half, or some people would do 60, right? Because it is kind of a 50% chance with this. So now, in order for us to kind of gain an idea as to what side is being preferred, well, first of all, we have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 time frames suggesting an upside and not a downside on momentum versus volatility. Okay, now let's go ahead and just refer to the RSI to see if there's any edge we can gain there. Let's start off with the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame and see what we got. Okay, so 30-minute immediate short-term still suggesting an upside. We are very much close to that gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile, so this is likely to find a little bit more of an upside there. Remember, 30 minutes lives out pretty fast. Let's go to the buy hourly and see what we got. Okay, so buy hourly using that 14-day simple moving average represented by this pink line as a form of support, and we still have an upside bias. Let's continue. Let's see what the 6-hour has to say. So the 6-hour has a little bit of consolidation, still getting a little bit of bearish news here from that 14-day simple moving average, and we can't use that too much. Let's look at the 8-hour just in case. All right, so consolidation, slightly bearish, slightly bullish. Why slightly bearish? Well, the 14-day simple moving average is pivoted to the downside, and the RSI signal pivoted slightly to the upside, very close to the gravitational zone of the bear weakness percentile, suggesting a pull in here. But as you can see here, we got rejected from that gravitational zone and we came right back in, and the gravitational zone is keeping us inside. So this is very likely to find some consolidation. Okay, let's go to the 12-hour and see what we have. Say the 12-hour very similar to the 8-hour, slightly bullish, slightly bearish, gravitational zone inside of that. Okay, so let's go to the daily. All right, so the daily is also in the gravitational zone of the bull weakness percentile, so very likely we can see some more consolidation. So you can see how the indecision is already kind of favoring. So the buy daily and the 3-day, of course, are going to be pivoted towards the downside because they are already flashed to the downside via this huge price action to the downside, right? So a very important thing to notice here too is that on the 5-day, we're weighing out the pros and cons, right? So on the 5-day, we do have an uptrend. Let me just get rid of that. Sorry, apologize. On an uptrend, when you start printing a shooting star candle like this, that usually signals a potential downside coming in, of which could be already in play, right? So what I like is actually that the 5-day is suggesting an upside, and also the 3-day, if I remember correctly, which is very strange. And if this were to play out, that means that we can actually face some potential consolidation if we're able to consolidate for actually, I mean, a few days within this same range. Then the higher likelihood would be to the upside, right? And I mean that would be great, right? But of course, remember that we can't rely on hopium. We can only rely on factual and mathematical properties. Okay, we can only rely on what the charts are saying, not what we want them to say. Okay, so I just want to point out that right now we're sitting at, I mean, earlier we were sitting at about 30, I forgot where we were, right? But it's gone up just ever so slightly right now, and we're still within that channel. Okay, so it's very important. It's very important for us to notice that. Okay, so if we're getting this sideways bias, guys, I would really be super careful with how we proceed from this moment. Okay, so in that case, please go ahead and refer to the links in the description below if you have any questions or concerns. Definitely send me some messages. I have a lot of messages coming in right now, so I will try my very best to answer every one of them accordingly. Okay, so remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, you guys, let's see. So I want to just yeah, I think that should be pretty good for the video here. Okay, so yeah, so guys, I think yeah, I'm gonna leave it off right here. Please, I wish you well. Oh, one more thing. One more thing, just go ahead and notice here that if we do close this candle above, let's see, let's go ahead and put it right here above 36.25. We're at 36.75 right now, right? If we do close this at 36, you know, above that 36, let me just, I'm going to show you right here the opening. It's the opening right, let's see, right here. Okay, let's hover over the candle and get that opening price. 36.18. Yeah, so if we close above 36.18 on this candle, that would actually give us a 4-hour bullish engulfing candle formation. Okay, so that usually means an upside. Okay, so that is what a bullish engulfing is that you have a green candle ahead of a red candle, right? But in particular, the green one is a larger body engulfing the smaller red body. Okay, so that's a good sign. Okay, so just some more things for us to look out, right? So both bearish and bullish things coming in for this asset. This is why I'm telling you guys it's very, I don't know what the heck is going on, right? But we can only practice what the charts are saying, right, you guys? But with that said, I wish you well, a very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios.